Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Diamond Painting with Anxiety. I'm Karen. So, if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you're a regular here, thanks so much for stopping back by. Hopefully you've got a whip in progress, a diamond painting, stitching, crafting of some kind, and we can relax for a little bit, do some crafting, and have a little chat about focusing on our self-care. So before we get into my self-care plan for the week and how I did and all of that, let's talk for a second about this diamond painting that I've been working on. If you saw my first self-care video, and I think I did an unboxing on this particular painting is one that I did a paint by numbers with years ago. It was a little bit smaller, but basically the same image. So I was really curious to see how it would turn out as a diamond painting. I don't know why I did it. I do stuff like this once in a while, but I ordered this in rounds. I probably would have preferred it in squares because I don't really like to work on rounds. But it just is what it is. For whatever reason, I made a mistake and got it in rounds. It has dummy circles, and they are, for the most part, really, really showing through canvas. The other thing about this canvas is see how red her face is. It's like, I don't know, like she went crazy with her blush or her self-tanner or something. The paint by numbers I did was not like that. I don't know if the reason is that right in, let's see if I can bring this up so you can see this a little bit better. Oh, and then I drop it. Right in this area right here, they're really using peaches and flesh tones, which was a part of the background on the paint by number kit, but her face definitely didn't look like that. I was frustrated with the circles, I was frustrated with the way her face was turning out, and I thought about trashing this project. But, like I said, I'm just really, really curious to see how it will work up as a diamond painting. Wish I would have got it in squares, wish her face was better. I'm going to go ahead and complete this because this is about relaxing, slowing down. It's bringing back some really good memories for me of when I did the paint by numbers. I'm going to do a video real soon talking about all of that, but I think I'm going to complete this and just see how it turns out. I may or may not switch these out to some facial colors. It'd be a little bit tough because they've got all these colors of peach right around here in the background. I don't know if it just didn't translate well to diamond painting or what the problem is. I mean, I can see the definition of her face. There's her jawline right there, you know, and there's her nose. It looks kind of okay. I mean, this is definitely, even in the paint by numbers, this is her in profile. But I could potentially change it out. I don't think I could use peaches. I could maybe use real pale colors, almost give her a porcelain look. I might do that, and I might not. I might just finish this, have the experience, see what I think of the entire thing, and then, you know, it's about, and I said this last Sunday, this is about the process for me. So we're just going to keep going and see how this turns out. I'm really, really curious about when I get down to this bottom portion. That's a bad place to try and show you. Let's see if I can show you here. Down here, there's a lot of bubbles and rivers in this, but down here you can see this is actually her arm. It's going right there. And her top or dress or whatever it is all lace. So I'm wondering how that's going to work in round diamonds. the tablecloth down here is all lace as well. So I'm just curious. I'm just, even though it's not turning out the greatest, and probably never anything I would put on my wall, I'm just curious about the process, so I'm going to keep going. So that's that. I'll start working on this in a few minutes, but for right now, I'm just going to flip it over, and let's talk about how I did with self-care this week. If you watched my first Sunday self-care video, what I'm doing is I have taken this beautiful traveler's notebook that was made especially for me by the wonderful Shanda Panda, the famous Shanda Panda, over at Creatively Shanda. She made this and brought it to me. It's a wonderful traveler's notebook, has all these different little sections and extra goodies, and look how pretty that is. Just all these wonderful things. Look at the, oops, it's falling out. Look at the little coffee cup paper clip, which was falling out too. Let me see if I can put that back in. But she made this and gave it to me as a gift. I knew I wanted to do something very special with it, so I've turned it into my self-care journal. I'm using the same process that I have used in working with clients and in my own life for about 15 years now. I know it's very effective when I take the time to do it, so I'm going back to what works. And I have created a tracking sheet for myself. I started it last week, so I decided I didn't want to redo all of my categories, so I'm going to do July and August. So, because I only did 1 week. This was my week, my last week of July. I had set one goal for myself, because it's real important when we do stuff like this that we don't overwhelm ourselves. If we let ourselves become overwhelmed, we'll just give up. So it's real important that we start out gradual, build from there. So what I did is I set one goal, and that goal was no coffee after 2, 4 or more times a week. I made this little tracker just by taking the paper and folding it like that, and then you end up with 8 little sections. So you can do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the way across, or I guess that it ends on Saturday. Sorry about that. And then as you go through your week, when you complete your habit and goal that you're working on, you just check it off. Now, the goal that I set was no coffee after 2, 4 or more times a week. Sometimes with some goals, I will set the days I want to do that. And as you can see, I did it for that goal. And as you can see right here on Wednesday, I caved and I had coffee before bed. I had worked all 3 jobs and I was just exhausted, so I had some coffee, probably about 7. So I just made up for that by not having coffee on Thursday night. So as you can see, 4 times last week, I didn't have coffee after 2. It was really hard. There were some nights, I remember especially Sunday, and I think it was Tuesday, where I wanted to cave really badly, but I didn't. So what my plans are is over here on this side, I have the different life categories that are really important to work on. So I can't really, it's hard for me to read that. I hope you guys can read it a little bit. But the life categories are my spirit, my health, key relationship. So that would be, for me right now, would be with Wyatt, my 14-year-old grandson. Family, so that would be, the rest of my kids, my grandkids. Work, time management, environment, social, money, leisure and fun, service, mind, self-esteem, stress management, AM routine, and PM routine. So there are, I counted them earlier, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there's 16 categories. I, of course, set one goal for myself last week. I want to get to the point where by the end of August, I'm working on all of these things. But again, I don't want to overwhelm myself. So what I'm going to do, I already started one. So I'm going to incorporate 4 new categories per week. Again, remembering it's very important that if there's a category and I set a habit goal or a self-care goal, that I don't overwhelm myself. If I was doing it 0 times last week, I don't want to say, okay, I'm going to do it 7 times this week, because that's what makes me and other people feel really overwhelmed, and then we just give up. So I chose I had already set one. So I chose 4 goals that I wanted to start um, working on this week. So in the spirit category, I put, there's some spiritual material that I like to study. So I said daily study 4 or more times per week. I didn't really care when I did that, so I didn't highlight any days that I wanted to do that. Of course, I'll continue with no coffee to 4 or more days per week. With stress management, I found a app. I'll tell you about that app in a little while. But I want to do a check-in, just kind of to do some mindfulness and just see how I'm feeling physically, emotionally, at 11:30, 5 days a week. Now I set that one for 5 days a week because I have an alarm set on my phone. I clock out for lunch every day at 11 a.m. So there's no reason why I can't combine that. And when I clock out for lunch, go ahead and take care of that habit real quickly. So as you can see, I highlighted Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so that I'll do it 5 or more times per week. And then AM routine and PM routine, those are not standard categories I use all the time. With myself and my clients, these are pretty much standard things that I've used over and over throughout the years. These were kind of some things I added because, I've talked about it before, but I have adult ADD. And so, like, what the AM routine and the bedtime routine is, they're those normal things that we have to do to take care of ourselves, like brush our teeth, take a shower, put our clothes on, take our meds, have breakfast, take our vitamins. And it's not that I don't do those things. I do. It's just that I do them in a really chaotic manner. Like maybe one day I'll brush my teeth but not jump in the shower for an hour and a half. Or I'll, do my morning spiritual work but not brush my teeth until 10. Particularly with working from home, my schedule and my routines are just off. So I want to kind of standardize that where I do things, thing 1, thing 2, thing 3, just so that it feels a little more ritualized. I think it'll make me feel a little less chaotic. So I'm going to work on that in the morning. And the same thing at bedtime. Like, I get ready for bed, I brush my teeth, I do all those things, but maybe some nights I'll, go in and brush my teeth, and then I have a routine most of the time where I do like a quick 10-minute pickup. So maybe some nights I'll brush my teeth, do the pickup, put the pajamas on, pick up a little bit more, take my evening meds, then wash my face. And then tomorrow night, I might do it all in a different order. So again, I don't sleep. So I think this one's especially important. I don't sleep very well. And they say having a bedtime routine is really important. So I'm kind of working on that and strategizing that for myself. So it would be more like, do the 10-minute pickup, put your pajamas on, brush your teeth. Do you know what I mean? Just do it in a more routine manner, if that makes any sense. So for both of those, I want to do them 4 or more times per week. I don't, again, for those categories, I don't really care what day I do them. I just want to do them. So, I did say that I would talk to you a little bit about the app that I found. For this check-in app, if I can figure out how to, like, I don't know if there's a way to link apps, but if I can do that or figure it out, I will put it down in the description below. But I have an Android phone. I've already looked because I've installed it on my grandson Wyatt's phone as well. It's called My Life, and it's a really simple, really quick app that helps you just kind of check in with how you're doing. So you log in, it asks you 3 questions. How are you doing physically? How are you doing emotionally? And how are you doing mentally? You answer those questions, which takes seconds. It asks you for the emotion question to choose an emotion from a list. You choose the emotion you're feeling, and then it gives you an activity to do. The activity might be listening to a meditation. It might be planning to, the other day, one of them was catch up on your favorite television show. It's just different little activities that it gives you. But what I like about them, except for the catch up on your favorite television show, none of the activities or the meditations that it gives you are longer than 8 minutes, and a lot of them are between 3 and 5 minutes. So, like, for an example, today Wyatt and I did it together, and the meditation that we chose was a 4-minute walking meditation. So we went and did that together. We took 4 minutes and listened to the meditation while we walked. We got to do something together. We got to relax. We got to get outside. So this is a really awesome app. Like I said, I do know that they have it for Android and they have it for iPhones. I would really encourage you to, maybe try an app like that or something like it. Like I said, it's called My Life. Very simple. There's a little avatar, and as you complete each activity, you get to earn coins and change the hair color and dress, and that's all good and fine. What I like is these meditations that you can listen to are so short. So again, I'm going to do that at lunchtime, and whether I'm working here from home or I, eventually go back to corporate office, I can take 3 or 4 minutes and listen to a meditation in the middle of my day, and it's going to do nothing but benefit me. So those are my plans. Those are my goals. And I will continue to use my tracking sheet just by, doing a slash mark. When I get to the next week, the slash mark will go in the other direction. And then, through the middle, and then, I'll end up making a star. And then in September, I'll start a new tracking sheet. But I only had 1 week. So as you can see, today's Sunday, and I've already done my daily study. That's for last week. Okay, I've done my daily study. This is the first week of August. I did my daily study last week. But okay, let me back up. I've already done my daily study and done the stress management check-in with the My Life app with Wyatt. So I've already completed some self-care today. So that feels really good. Oh, I haven't checked it off yet, but I also did my AM routine today. So I'm doing really good. That's 3 out of 5 that I've already completed today. Quite honestly, I'm not working tomorrow, so the no coffee after 2 is probably not going to happen, but that's okay. I don't have to do it 7 days a week. I only need to do it for 4 right now. So that's how I'm doing with my self-care check-ins and my tracking. So let's turn this over, and I'm going to start diamond painting a little on my woman in the flower hat. I don't know what to call her. Okay, I think I'm going to pull this back about this far. Let's see, I got to be sure that you guys can see what I'm working on. Maybe I'll pull this back a little more. Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay. Okay, oops, I'm not going to diamond paint with an ink pen. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's me. So, there have been some other really awesome things. Look at, I'm having to kind of deal with some real small rivers before I can diamond paint on this canvas. It's not the greatest quality. I got it from Home Fun. I don't think I would order from them again. They make people's faces red. I mean, come on. She's orange. Self-tanner to the max. Anyway, so as far as my self-care this week, I've really done some cool stuff to, you know, take care of myself. That's the thing about doing this tracking system, is it kind of builds. You do one or two things that are good self-care, and then all of a sudden you just find kind of automatically, without really even thinking about it too much, that you're doing other things as well. So it's really helpful. And I've kind of just been sort of focused on it, so it was pretty easy to kind of do some good things for myself this week. It's going to be really important that I be really kind and gentle to myself this week, because tomorrow, August 3rd, is Naomi, my daughter that died of an overdose. It's her birthday. And this is historically, since she's died, it's a very difficult week for me. I'll talk about how I kind of got through that, I think, next week, once her birthday's passed, in a positive way. It's not going to be, you know, a sad, feel sorry for me kind of video, because that's not the kind of space I stay in. I'm doing pretty well with the whole thing this year, but I do just have to be, you know, gentle with myself, because it does bring up some emotion. And so there's some very concrete things that I've been doing. I'll talk about that in next week's video once the birthday's passed. But you know, it's going to be important that I take good care of myself. So I'm really glad that I started this series last week, because it's going to do nothing but benefit me. So one of the things that I am doing for self-care this week, I'm actually going to be doing today, and that is about 3 or 4 times a year, I have a professional organizer that I call and have come over and help me with things. Now, that for some people, that may seem super extravagant. It's not really as expensive as you might think. I pay her $25 an hour. I usually have her come over for about 3 hours, and so that's $75. And I usually tip her a little bit. So usually around, you know, we're usually under 100 somewhere. I get 3 hours of focused time getting whatever it is I need to work on done. And that's really important for me, because having the adult ADD, I start a lot of things but don't finish them. So when she comes over and there's that mental thing that goes on where I know I'm paying for her time, I don't want to look like a complete idiot. Although she, you know, she's very kind, very understanding, very, very supportive. But, you know, that's just something that's kind of in the back of my head is, you know, want to get my money's worth and look like I'm not a complete idiot. So I stay focused. She, you know, pushes me just a little bit and, you know, makes me make those hard decisions. You know, do we really need to keep this, or does this need to go into a donate box, or whatever? So it's very, very helpful. And, you know, like I said, it's um, usually $100 or a little bit less. Sometimes she doesn't stay for the whole 3 hours. I always book her for 3 hours. But if we feel like we're done with whatever we're working on, she'll, you know, I'll go ahead and let her go. I usually have a list of things that we're going to work on. But it, you know, I drop that much on diamond paintings in a week sometimes. So to have somebody come over and just help me get some organization and clarity and focus is really good self-care for myself. So that's something I do, and that's something that's going to happen today. Since Wyatt moved in, she helped me quite a bit. I had her come over, I think, 3 or 4 times in the 4 or 5 months before Wyatt moved in. But she came over, and because, I mean, there was a lot that had to be done, as far as there was some stuff that had to be built in my room. Everything had to be moved and restructured and everything to make room in my studio apartment for Wyatt. So she came over, I think, 3 or 4 times just to help me work on that. I think 3. So that was really helpful and worth every penny. But since Wyatt moved in, having 2 of us here, it's even more important that we stay organized. And, you know, I make sure that I pick up after myself and set a good example and teach him to pick up after himself. So it's really not too bad. I'm not that disorganized. But one of the things that I kept saying, because she helped me a lot, and actually so did my daughter Sarah. She helped me quite a bit with, you know, getting things ready before Wyatt came. But I kept saying to both of them, as we would, you know, try to organize or trying to set something up, because we had to basically like create a kitchen. I had some of the, you know, some of the stuff like the refrigerator, the microwave, the coffee pot already, the toaster oven, but we had to make sure that it was, you know, going to function. So in some of those ways, and like with our bed situation and stuff, I kept saying to both of them, I'm gonna need to live with it for a while to figure out if it's going to work. And that was absolutely true, particularly in the kitchen area, because he's 14 and, you know, growing, and 14-year-old boys can eat you out of house and home, I'm telling you. And just because he's here, I used to do a lot of frozen stuff. I used to do some takeout, not a whole lot, but some. But now that he's here, I'm cooking more. So we had done a lot of work in my little kitchenette area before he came, and it worked really well. But just kind of gradually as time has gone on, like I said, I was going to have to live with it for a while. I've realized, although it worked really well, it could work better. So that's what she's coming over to help me do today. We're going to tear everything apart. We're going to relocate where some things are kept. We're going to do some little minor re-decor things in that area and just get it set up so that it works even better for me and is, you know, even easier for me to cook. Because I mean, with a kid in the house, with a teenager, you've got to cook dinners. So it, you know, what I have going is working okay. And has kept us fed since April just fine, but it could be better. And I think once it's better and it's a little bit easier for me, a little bit easier workflow, that's one of those things that will just help me to feel calmer, more organized, and just happier in general. And that's really important too, as I'm trying to raise Wyatt. I've got to do whatever I possibly can to just make sure that I'm in a good emotional space so that I can be emotionally available for him. So that's one thing I've done this week. Well, I haven't done it yet, but I set it all up this week. So I'm really kind of excited. And it's really nice because, like I said, we stay pretty organized and pretty clean. So I didn't have to do a whole bunch to prepare for her to come. Just kind of knowing that when she gets here, we'll be, tearing everything apart, but it'll be just fine. So really excited about that. So that was really good. So I did another thing. Since I started diamond painting and watching so many of the YouTube channels and the wonderful creators, and just like everybody else, I have my favorites, but as most of you are aware, everybody was just diamond painting to begin with, and then some other crafts started coming in, and then what's really taken off in the community is this cross stitching and needlework crafts. And I said in a video I did yesterday that I'm 55. I've done a lot of different crafting. I've built doll houses. I've done paint by numbers. I've cross stitched. I've quilted. What else? I did birdhouses for a while. I did candle making and soap making. I never really got into any kind of paper crafts, and I also never really got into any kind of yarn crafts. But I mean, I've done lots of different kinds of crafting. But one of the things that I was into for years was cross stitching. I did counted cross stitch a little bit. It just was not, it was just not enough of an instant gratification for me until I found pre-printed laptop quilts that could be cross-stitched. And those are what I really love to do. I have, done several of them over the years, which have become family heirlooms. My grandkids have one. My daughter has one. I think my sister-in-law has one that I made. I gave one to my friend's daughter. And they're, and whenever I do a lap quilt that I've cross-stitched and quilted by hand, I always tell people, use it. Doesn't matter if it gets stained, tattered, whatever. This is meant to bring comfort. And they do. They get used. So when everybody started doing the cross stitching, and everybody in our diamond painting community, they're making like works of art. I mean, the stuff that they make is so gorgeous. All the heids and just a lot of the projects they make with countered cross stitch. They're gorgeous, but none of that is my cup of tea. And so when I saw that this, was kind of taken off in our community, I thought, well, I could do, a laptop quilt. I haven't done one in about 3 years since I moved to California. And I thought to myself, I could do one, but, what they're doing in my mind is so much more artistic and, show so much more skill than what I do. And then I realized, you know what, that's ridiculous. I was watching Rachel Ray do a stitch and chat, I think, and as she was talking about it, some of those thoughts were going through my mind, and I thought, that is absolutely ridiculous, Karen. That's not good self-care. That's not a loving way to talk to yourself or anything else. And I thought, I'm going to do it. So I went on to Amazon and I found something that I wanted. I ordered not one because I'm crazy, but two because I really want a complete one for my daughter and her kids, and for my daughter-in-law and her kids as well. So I purchased two of them, and I was watching Amazon tracking like crazy. It was just crazy. I was so excited. I was actually a little bit surprised by how excited I got, because diamond painting is kind of it for me. I love it. I love everything about it. But it's difficult to take anywhere with me to work on. I do it. It can be done. Lots of us have done it, but it's just a little bit more difficult. And, you know, I said it in my video yesterday, but I think it's true. Now, my daughter has some of my diamond paintings hanging in her house right now. She also, you know, likes a lot of the holiday pieces that I create for holiday decor. But I'm not really convinced that those will end up being family heirlooms. I'm just not. The lap quilts probably will. And I like the fact that I can make lap quilts and there's something useful. So there's no reason why I can't do a little bit of both. Do my diamond painting, and I'll probably always do more of that than the stitching, but I think I can, you know, do some stitching as well and create these quilts. Just in case you didn't see my video, I'll put a link to that unboxing that I did in the description below. But just in case you didn't see it, I ordered on Amazon. Took 2 days to get here. I ordered a Bucilla laptop quilt. It's 45 by 45. It's going to be real difficult to get this all in frame. But it's a Christmas quilt. So let's see if I can kind of scroll you through this somehow. So up here at the top, we've got, you know, reindeer and sleigh. Here's the section kind of in the middle that I started working on. It says, heart so close all through the year, seem closer still when Christmas is here. There's a beautiful Christmas tree. It says Noel on this panel. It's got a beautiful poinsettia. Another Christmas tree, it looks like. Oh, no. It's not a Christmas tree. It's a little village scene. You see that? It does have some trees, but it's got houses and a church. Let's see, what do we got up here in this part? Oh, there's a beautiful wreath, some holly berries, some snowflakes. Yeah. So, like I said, I was crazy excited to get this. I spent all day working on it yesterday. I think probably what I will do is, I don't know, maybe on videos, if I can figure out how to film, because you know how my filming skills are not 100% the greatest, but we don't care. We just put them up anyway. But also my space limitations. If I can figure out how to film myself, maybe I'll do some on Saturdays we stitch type videos or something. I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a schedule for myself, maybe where on weekends I work on my quilt, or I don't know. I was thinking that originally, and then I was thinking it would be nice to get those done for at least one of them done by Christmas. They take me a long time to do. I'm real slow. But it would be nice to get at least one of them done by Christmas. So if I only did weekends, that would probably be forever. So I don't know, maybe I'll do diamond painting one day and rotate the next day to quilting. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm kind of proud of myself that I was able to realize, and this was just like this all transpired. I had thought about getting a kit before I went on my vacation, but had decided not to because I wasn't going to get it in time. But I'm glad that I was able to, kind of process through that, realize I wasn't talking to myself very nicely, and that I was, feeding myself stories that weren't true and telling myself I was less than because I was not doing, counted cross stitch on Adida fabric that's been hand dyed and, is part of the stitch along. And yeah, that's not a very kind way to treat myself. So I just caught myself thinking that way and changed it. And there we go. So I hope you guys have all had a wonderful week. I hope you've been doing some good self-care yourself. If you're would like to, I would love to have you, join me and maybe set up a tracker of your own. If you're interested in doing it and you need to reach out, I can probably help you out with that a little bit. Leave me a comment down below or something, or you can find me over on Facebook on the Diamond Painting Path Project. If you haven't joined that group, love to have you join. We post a lot of progress and stuff about the diamond painting I do with the residents here at the shelter, which is also self-care. And that's probably going to end up being one of my self-care goals as well. But, find a way to reach out to me. You can email me. I'll be sure I put my email in the description below too. But yeah, I would love, if you'd like to do a tracker, I'd love to help you if you need some help kind of, brainstorming some ideas, or, whatever that works on, or whatever that works on, whatever that looks like. If you want to just leave me a comment down below, my question for you, if you've made it to the end of this video, is what did you do for self-care this week? And what are you going to do next week? Because even if we just do like one thing a week, like I said, we need to allow ourselves to gradually, build up to that stuff. No such thing as perfection. No such thing as I'm just going to do it all now. If we did one good thing for ourselves last week and we can do one good thing for ourselves this week, that's gonna pay off in our lives. So would love to hear what you did to take good care of yourself last week and what your plan is to take care of yourself in the coming week. So I think at this point, you guys, I'm gonna let you go. But before I do, I want to remind you that together, that's true. I usually don't say that, but together we can all change lives one drill at a time, even if it's only our own, because when we change our lives, the entire world around us is going to start to change. That's all for today, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.